Traumatic experiences I had while living in Holland. I'm going to tell you this while my hair dries, and my last video wasn't as good, so I'll just tell you now. Firstly, this girl made a YouTube video of me in Holland, and she said, "Oh, sorry you can't see my friend in the video. She's just a bit dark, but it's okay because I still love her." That's exactly what she said. And yeah, and she posted the video, by the way. When we were playing tag, I had to be the monster because I was black. Basically, a girl made a boy's private part with a plastic bag, but the boy blamed me because she was too pretty to be blamed. A black boy chased me around the school. Everyone was cheering him on because he was the only black boy and he was chasing me to try kiss me, and I remember I felt my back. We went to a birthday party, and when we were going home, everyone was begging for me to be dropped off first, even though I lived the furthest. We had these like string toys, but everyone, the second I bought it, it became unpopular, and I was waiting for so long to get it because everyone was liking it, and when I bought it, no one liked it anymore.
Here are 3 signs that you're being discriminated against at work. Hi, my name is Doug Lipsky. I'm an employment attorney. One sign you're being discriminated against is if your employer is setting different performance standards for employees doing the same job. The unifying factor for the employees that are not being measured as high as the others is their protected status. For example, their age, race, national origin, sexual identification, something like that, while the other group is being held to a higher standard. The second sign you might be discriminated against at work is if your employer is unevenly disciplining employees for doing the same thing. For example, if there's a group of employees who always show up late, that always get disciplined for it, and there's another group that always show up late but is not getting disciplined, you look for the unifying factors of them. Do they all share a protected status? Their age, race, national origin. If the group that is getting disciplined shares the same protected status, the employer is most likely discriminated against them because of that protected status. A third sign of discrimination at work are the trends in who is the employer hiring, firing, disciplining, promoting, giving salary increases. If you're seeing that employees are performing at the same level, but one group is getting the promotions and the salary increases, but the other group is not, and this group shares a particular protected status, that group is probably getting discriminated against, while the other groups are getting the promotions and salary increases. Same thing with the firing. If a group of a certain protected status is the group that keeps getting targeted for the firing, and when they're performing at the same level as everyone else, it's usually another sign of discrimination at work.
Actually shaking. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm in Maruba right now because I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have a little thrifting day. And I'm in a really small parking lot, and this lady who's clearly been in the parking lot waiting for a spot is kind of blocking the entrance. So I go around her and I'm just waiting at the end of the parking lot, and then I see a car one spot behind me. Someone's about to move out. They put all the shopping in and everything, and then I start blinking because I was like, oh great, I found a spot. Then the lady who had been there waiting for a while starts driving up and puts her indicator on, and then I was like, oh, that's a bit weird, just because like I saw the spot first, and you know, like it was right behind me. I was like, I thought I could have it. And then as the car pulls out, I'm starting to reverse. She comes right behind me and starts beeping at me, and I'm so confused because it was like I saw the spot first, and then she pulls around and rolls the window down, and I explain, I'm just like, hey, sorry, like I already put my indicator on, I was waiting for the spot first. And then she proceeds to be like, but I got here before you. And I was like, yeah, you may have got here before me, but I claimed the spot first, like I put my indicators on. And I can't believe she was like, just like this country, I got here first. Like I am Australian. Like my background is full Chinese, but I just didn't think in this day or age, like racism could hit so hard. It was just such a confronting experience. Anyways, I proceeded to get another parking spot.
So there's been this story that's been circulating about a woman who moved from the United States to Russia because she felt that she was being discriminated against in America. She felt that America is a racist country, and that in order to escape this racism, she needed to move to Russia. Let me run that back one more time. In order to escape the racism in America, she moved to Russia. Now, I'm sure y'all can imagine exactly how this story unfolded. You do not need to use your imagination because here we have an image of exactly what happened as a result of this executive decision that she made.
Super fun to squish and
This
mix
is what
into
happened
the
to
base.
her in Russia.
Base
According
is a
to
jelly
her,
X Bingsu hybrid, and
due
it mixes
to
into a super soft and creamy
racism.
texture.
That was her face before. That was the face in America. That's her face.
Now that Asian racism is in the conversation and being taken seriously right now, let's talk about the times that I faced racism growing up as an Asian in the American Midwest. The thick skin you have to develop growing up in a white suburb of Minnesota. I was the only Asian kid, or one of the only Asian kids, in every school that I went to. So you always have like the classic, like they'll do this with their eyes when I was growing up, which is crazy. Like they'll never know how to pronounce your name and never even try. Honestly, a really sad memory I had was I was always made fun of for the lunches I would bring. So there was a day that I brought rice and like this type of dry pork. It's called jabang in Vietnamese, and it was one of my favorite things to eat ever. And I brought it to lunch and I was so excited to eat it. And then a bunch of the popular boys in elementary school, I was like in 4th grade or something, they came and they were like, what is that? And they were like kind of making fun of it, and then they like wanted to try it, and I think it was so good and delicious. I was like, yeah, try it. And then they were like, would eat it and they'd be like, whoa, like what is that? And then I just felt really embarrassed, and they were totally shaming me for it. So I remember that night I came home and I told my mom, I was like crying, and I said, I only want American lunches from now on. Like we have to pack sandwiches. So we went to the grocery store and I made her help me like pick out bread and peanut butter and jelly, and I never really ate those things. I mean, I would prefer my rice lunches, but I remember from then on I started only packing peanut butter sandwiches, which is so sad, but sometimes you just like assimilate out of survival. I remember there were times, especially walking around in Europe, but even like where I was growing up, where people would be like, oh, are you from China? Are you Chinese? Like, ni hao, when just because you're Asian doesn't mean that you're Chinese. I remember there was a time I was in Italy, and Italy is obviously like really racist to Asians, or maybe it's not obvious, but that is true. Like they will say ni hao if you're walking across the street. But it was an American family that we were sitting next to in front of the dinner table at a restaurant in Italy, and they were like ching chong to us and like doing the eyes at me. And I remember I was like 15, like 14 or 15, and I was literally trying my best not to cry. I remember that was like such a hurtful experience. That was like a really blatantly racist experience. There was also another time growing up, I would go to temple every Sunday, not because we were religious, but because there was a Vietnamese school after service. So that's where I would learn Vietnamese and like practice reading and writing Vietnamese. Then the school went secular, and they started renting from the high school right next to the temple, which was a Christian school, like a Catholic private school. We would rent from them on Sundays, and we would like, they would split it with barriers in half from like their Sunday service and then our Vietnamese school on the other side of the school. But their side of the school had all the water fountains. You guys kind of get where this is coming at. So we would always have lunch period where we would kind of have recess and play with the kids. And I was a teaching assistant because I was like 16 or 17. I had graduated and I was teaching the kids. So I was like a TA there. After recess, like all the kids would be really thirsty. So then I would sneak them over the border to drink from this one water fountain. And there was one day that I got caught by like one of the Christian ladies there. And she was like, what are you doing on this side? And I was like, sorry, they wanted water. Like they were thirsty. She was like, you don't belong on this side of this school. And I was like, what? Like, okay, sorry. And she's like, you don't belong here. Do you get me? You don't belong here. Like, it was clear what she was trying to say. And I just remember, like, feeling so hurt. And I was only 16 or 17. And my dad, who was the president of the school, or, like, one of the founders of the school, like, came over. He's like, what's going on here? And she was like, you guys don't belong here. Like, and he apologized that we were on their side of the school. But then she kept saying that. And he was like, okay, be careful. Because when you say you don't belong here, that can mean a lot of things. I just remember he was defending me. But those were some of like the stories that I can remember. I'm sure there's so much that I blacked out and blocked out from growing up in like the suburbs of Minnesota. Being one of the only Asian people growing up did a number on me. Like, you definitely learn how to have a thick skin and how to be proud of yourself regardless of what people think of you. But it's actually crazy that like I had to like grow up that way.
I just wish every employee in the UK knew about this one thing. And it's like, employers know, by the way, employers know about this, and some of them use it to their advantage, but I don't think a lot of employees really appreciate how much power they have in certain situations and how that power can just disappear if they're not careful about it. So what I'm talking about is a specific window of time that you have after something bad happens at work where you have got a lot more leverage. And specifically that window is 3 months long. It's actually 3 months minus 1 day long. And that's the amount of time you have where you could take your employer to tribunal. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't want to take my employer to tribunal. That sounds really expensive and stressful. Yes, I mean, actually, it doesn't cost anything to file a tribunal. You don't have to have a lawyer. That's why our whole entire platform exists. But it is stressful. And the key thing here is you don't have to actually do it. You just have to know that you could do it. And you just have to make sure that your employer knows that you know that you could take them to tribunal. And this will help you resolve so many issues at work. So, you know, if there is a dodgy boss that they're not taking seriously and not removing, or if someone was on maternity leave and they were demoted and they, you know, think that was unfair, or if someone was unfairly dismissed, they have the most power in that 3-month window to get their employer to take it seriously, because employers do not want to go to tribunal. Tribunal costs them so much time, so much money. Tribunal records are publicly available, and you know, nobody wants their dirty laundry out there. So that gives you a lot more leverage to say, hey, why don't we negotiate this? Like, let's do a settlement. Let's, you know, talk about a promotion, or, you know, undemoting me, or whatever it is. So the more you know about when that time slot starts, the more power you have. Now, there are complications about that 3-month window. It's not super cut and dry all the time, and I can make more videos about that so you can learn more about it. But for the purposes of this, it doesn't matter, because the key thing for you to know is that it's limited. You need to act quickly, and you need to know that you can signal to your employer that you know about it. So you can write them a letter and say, hey, we've been talking about this. I'm not sure you're taking it seriously. I have a potential claim about this. Would you like to talk about it? Otherwise, would you like me to take the next step in the employment tribunal process? They don't want that. So it gives you so much more leverage. And I just want every single employee to know that in the UK.
Wait, guys, this just happened like an hour ago, and I have to tell you, Uguti, what the heck? And bear in mind, this is a very humbling experience for me, because I was literally shouting at people yesterday, Uguti, why are you guys not coming to Korea? And then this happens. Anyway, I just had my first racist encounter in Korea. I feel like it's my first. Like, stuff has gone on before, but I feel like this is my first official that I can just say, no, lo, ube racist. Like, ubuke mina, wabona ukuthi, So namhlanje I didn't go to the gym. I decided to go to kumngani wami, no friend, why don't we go to the pool, because khona ngizo-exercise even though I didn't go to the gym. And futhi kuyashisa ke Korea, like it's unbearably hot right now, and it's humid, and like a swimming pool was a good idea. It was a good idea, shame. Hayi sihambe nomngane siye swimming pool. Yabo ngoba ungibona nje ngikanje, this literally happened just an hour ago. Nothing has changed. Ngihambe swimming pool ngigqoka kanje, ngiye pool vele, it's 2 minutes away. I don't need to be fancy. Ngigqoke kanje nje nasekhanda nje, everything engiyiyona manje iyona into ebengiyiyona lapha epool. We get to the pool. Ngithema sifika mfethu ngihambe ngiyobuka lapha epool ukuthi benzani, because ipool it's downstairs, so mo upstairs uyakwazi ukubona ukuthi kwenzalani. Immediately ugele aphume kwilokhunjana kwi-desk lakhe, and she approaches us. Okay, fine. Siphinde le deskini, mina ngikhipha ikhadi lami, I'm getting ready to pay, because I'm not new kule pool. I've been to this pool numerous times. It's just that ngiyaqala ukumbona ugele. I've never seen her before. She was it was a new face for me. It wasn't the lady that we normally get mangabe siyobhuda lapha. Ngiyafika, okay fine, mangifika ngihamba nophindu eceleni, she's addressing me. Abuza ukuthi do I have a swimming costume? Ayikhombe ngimtshela ukuthi nginayo. Abuza ukuthi do I have a swimming cap? Ayikhombe ngimtshela ukuthi nginayo. Abuza ukuthi do I have goggles? Ayikhombe ngimtshela ukuthi nginayo. This is proof ukuthi guys, I've been swimming at this place for a while. Uyabo leyo nto leyo. Ngimtshela ukuthi nginazo lezi zinto lezi. Abona ukuthi ke akakwazi ukuthi kushuthi angibone ngezinto zami zokugqoka. Avela abuka inwele zami athi nje Muri andeyo. Muri andeyo.
Muri is hair in Korean, and Deo is like no, yabo. How Muri and Deo kanjani manje futhi inwele zami zinani? What's wrong with my hair? Akukhulume nge-shampoo. Like, girl, are you saying I'm dirty? Now at this point, Upindi is clocking because this girl is standing on a business. Like, this girl is a receptionist. She's standing on business. Yeah, but she can clock it. I no friend. Look at it, I get right. Abo mina ngibe ngiqhubekile mina ngiyabuza muri andiyo kanjani muri andiyo kanjani alibe nje ekhombile I so this is important. Upindi, she was wearing a weave. Ugqoke a weave nje iwig yakhe enhle. It's like a cute short wig. Mina wig short wig, and mina ngigqoke le nele ngifake ngigluka ama braids yabo. Akhombe inwele zaphinde athi this okay. Shuthi inwele zi straight zi right. Ezami inwele it's not okay. Yabo ngimkhiphela like I literally, let me take out my swimming cap guys, ngimtshengisa. Like it's even big enough for my, cuz I've had braids before. I've gone swimming before with my braids. That's why I have the swimming cap. Like it's big enough for me to put my braids phakathi. If you want it ngiyithengeka Shein. So I was just like, oh, girl, man, I have everything, bro. Like I have everything. Ngiphethe ngishone ama goggles ama goggles. I got them as a gift from one of my colleagues because she knows I like to swim. And then I also have my towel and naye gilokhunjana swimming costume because bafuna le ekanje vele. Hayibo, ugeli nje wathi nje no inwele. So zangabhukuda kanjalo ngenxa yenwele zami. Shuzinwele zami zingcolile. Guys, hayibo. Anyway, this is not your sign not to come to Korea. Where's the Korea when? Because ngiyazi ke senzoqala ku comment section nisizakala lithi that's why I'm never gonna come to Korea. What people's experiences are different. Like you're never gonna know until you come and experience it yourself. And you don't necessarily have to come to Korea. You can go to another country. You can go to Dubai. You can go to China. You can go to Taiwan. You can go to Thailand. You can go to the Philippines. You can go anywhere. Like literally. Stand on business, clock business, njengo Justin Bieber, stand on business, uhambe uyephesheya ne-degree yakho. Don't use this as an example not to go anywhere because nami kade ngangibona abantu fethu but nami ngila. And this is my first racist encounter in like 1 year and 6 months of being in Korea. So anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna go back there to go and swim again because I always like my hair to be ngihlezi ngithanda ukuluka mina angazi nje ngingathanda ukuluka. So angazi noma ngizophindela ngiyobhukuda yini because guys I love to swim. But again, that's what happened. My friend wanted to confront her because she's very traumatized. Shem uphindi nkosami mnganami, she's so traumatized by this whole situation. But I just loved it. I laughed and called it a day because also if kukuthi confront kanjani umuntu ongasikhuluma isingisi, and also if I confront her and then it turns into an altercation uba uzoboshwa lapha mina uzoboshwa. So it's fine as long as I get paid. Nkosi yami mina ngi-right nkosi yami. Makushaye nje usuku le payday yangena njengoba injalo imali yami. Hawu noma ngathi muri ne noma ngathi muri andeyo noma ngathi black andeyo, it's fine. Manje ngangifuna ukuphula but it's fine. Like honestly, as long as I get paid it's cool. And I can't believe this is me talking like this because if it was the old me ngabe sengiyakhala manje, like I would be crying. But I love you guys. Have a good day. Mwah. Bye.
Hey guys, story time on how I got racially profiled at Sephora and then pressed the fuck out of them. Mind you, I'm not the only person in the store. Okay, so boom. I got an LYS bronzing stick and it was the wrong shade, so I needed to go back and return it and exchange it for a new one. So in my head, like I'm just thinking this is like a little quick thing. 1, 2. I walk in, this lady greets me. She's like, hi, like welcome in. I was like, thank you. I knew what I'm getting and what I needed was like right at the front of the store. I'm like, perfect. So I grab it. I knew exactly what shade I needed. Walked to the front, checked out. And this is like where I kind of messed up, but at the same time I shouldn't have to like really think about this, but I do, but I don't, you know. So I just get the receipt emailed to me because like it's just I wasn't thinking like this is I'm running errands, this is just a little quick thing, like I don't want all this paper, like it's an even exchange. So I'm walking out the store, and there was no line either, so it was quick. Like I walked to the front and then I boomed out. And so the lady, so there's like 2 doors to get into Sephora. There's like one that opens into like this like little, I don't know, window room, and then like the other one to actually go in the store. And so the other one is open, like it's just open. So I'm already out in the middle of the 2 doors, like I'm out of the store at this point. And this lady, the lady that greeted me, stops me and she's like, did you find everything? Are you finding everything all right? I'm out the store, like I'm done shopping, I'm done finding everything all right. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got what I need. And I showed her what I got, like my Bronson stick, and I walk out. But it's just the interaction, you just know, like I just knew that she thought I was stealing, because the second I get into the car, I tell my man, I'm like, she thinks I'm stealing. As I'm telling him this, I look up and she's in the window staring at me. And like I don't know if she was like trying to memorize the license plate or like what she was doing, but she was like staring at me. And it's just like, if you know, you know, like you knew. I knew she was like thinking I was stealing. And it's definitely a racially profiling incident, because like I said, I wasn't the only person in the store. So it's just like, out of all the people, why do you think it's me that's stealing, you know? So I make eye contact with her and I'm like, you know, like, and she's still staring. You'd think that she'd look away. No. So I get out the car, I walk in the store, and I say, I have my phone with like the email receipt. I say, here's my receipt since you think I'm stealing. And she was so caught off guard because I knew she didn't think I was going to go in that store and say anything. And she was like, like, I didn't think you were stealing. Yes, the fuck you did. And I said, yeah, you did. Don't lie in my face. And I walked out, like, attitude, and I walk off. Like, it literally, I was just like, yes, you did. Don't lie to my face. And walked out of there. So like when these types of things happen to me, these happen all the freaking time to me. Like every week it's something else, like always some racial profiling shit. So I'm like shaking with anger, like I see red, like blah, blah, blah. So I'm just like so mad that I'm like, no, I need to call the store and make a report on this lady, because no, you're not about to play in my face. So I call the store, and some girl named Alexa answers, and that's important. And so she's like, hi, like, how can I help you? And I was like, yeah, I'd like to make a formal complaint about one of your workers. And she was like, oh, like, what happened? And I was like, I was in the store earlier today, or like, no, I said like 2 minutes ago. I was in the store 2 minutes ago, and I was buying something, and I exchanged it, and I was racially profiled by one of your workers. She thought I was stealing, and then later when I was like going to my car, she was staring all up out the window, like, you know, it was very obvious. I was like, I knew what she was doing. Like I told her the whole incident, and she's like, oh, like, I'm so sorry, like, blah, blah, blah. I can assure you that that was like, wasn't the case. Like, this is when, like, oh wait, no, let me just continue. So then she was like, I assure you, like, that's not the case. It's just because we had a robbery an hour ago, and like all the employees are just a little like heightened, you know? And I'm like, what does that have to do with me? A robbery an hour ago? And like, I didn't say this because like I wasn't, like, I'm just mad, like I'm just talking, like I wasn't really fully thinking, but in my head I'm just like, you think the robber is gonna come back to the store an hour later? Like, what are you looking out the window for her to come back? Like, what? So I say to them, I was just like, I guarantee you that robber looks nothing like me. That has nothing to do with me. That robbery had nothing to do with me. And I said, and two, a robbery an hour ago shouldn't dictate the way you treat your customers. You shouldn't be treating your customers like criminals. I didn't say that specifically, but like that's what I was giving off, you know? And so she was like, no, like, we're just heightened, like, I'm sorry this happened and you feel this way, like, what can I do to make it feel better? And I said, because she's expecting me to say I want something for free, because that's what they want, to catch black people trying to ask for free shit all the time. And I said, I don't want anything, I just want you to take accountability next time, because that's exactly what happened. A robbery an hour ago has nothing to do with the situation that just happened right now, and it's really ignorant and, like, you know, stupid that you're using this incident that happened a whole hour ago to pretty much like cover up and, you know, excuse how you treated me as a customer. And so after I said that, she hangs up in my face. In my face. She didn't even say anything after I said that. She hangs up in my face. So at this point, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like there's no way you thought I'm like a teenager trying to troll you, because I get if you hang up because of that. I'm just like, what? So I'm like just so angry, like I'm not connecting things together. And so I like call my dad, and I'm like I told him what happened. I'm like, we need to go to the store, like I need to talk to like whoever, you know. I'm just so mad. So I go back to the store with my parents, and the reason I wanted my parents there is because like they treat teenagers, younger people different, because they, you know, they're kids, and like, you know, they can like and I'm a whole adult, mind you, but it's just like, you know, they're older, so, you know, I wanted my parents to like be there so they can talk to me however they want. And so I get in the store, and I go up to a random worker, and I was just like, hi, like, is there a manager I can speak to? And she's like, oh yeah, like, give me 1 second. And I'm like looking around the store, seeing if I see that worker, and I see her, and she's like, you know, like, she's like hiding behind the little shelf, like, and then she hears on the little intercom, like, or like, you know, the headpiece, like, like, can a manager like come up? It's her. She's a fucking manager. Of fucking course she's the manager. So she comes up, and she tries to act oblivious. She's like, oh, like, hi, how can I help you? Bitch, you know how you can help me. And so I said to the other lady that I asked for help, and I was like, can I get somebody else, because I am here to report her. I said that I don't care. And so the other manager that they had was at the cashier, so they said, like, let me go get them. But the other manager, she makes sure to go get her, because she probably gonna say some shit like, oh, she's like bugging about like So they switch like positions. So at this point, I'm standing next to the cash register, and the lady I had an issue with was like right there, but she was checking people out. And so I was like, hi, like, I would like to report what happened. Told her the whole story of what happened, and she's really nice. She's like, I'm so sorry. And then guess fucking what? There was no robbery at all today. Not even a single like thought of a robbery. So at this point, I'm like, the lady who I was on the phone with was the lady I have an issue with, because how do you make up a whole robbery? And so I'm just like, I'm like shaking at this point. My voice is shaking. Probably sounds like I'm about to cry, but I'm not. I'm just so mad. And so, you know, she's being nice. She's like, there's no robbery. Like sometimes, and then she was like, sometimes like the phone might have like just hung up. Like I did get on like the headset, can I get another manager over here? And then I went over there, and then no one's on the line. So she hung up on me because she didn't want me talking to another manager. And so then the other manager, the lady I'm reporting, is checking people out. This black lady comes in line, and she's like, she's being nosy, eavesdropping. I mean, I would too. And she said, wait, what's going on? And I said, this lady right here is racially profiling me. This is the funniest shit ever. She goes, this lady up front, and like, mind you, she's like 2 feet away from her. Like, this is like, she's in line to check out. It's the fun, like, it's straight out of like a comedy show. She's like, I wasn't racially profiled. Yes, you were. And then, like, you know, we're just talking, like, I'm telling her, and then like the lady's like, this is not okay, this is not company policy, blah, blah, blah. And like she keeps chiming in, and then the lady, like the black lady, she's like, I used to work at Sephora, and they racially profile people all the time, like all these black girls, like a lot of black women sued Sephora just because of this, because they kept racially profiling, like on the intercom. Like, you might just think it's in your head, it's not. They're saying stuff like, they're telling you to check on this customer, check on that customer. And so she's giving me all the tea, and mind you, she's right there, she's like, white women just love to racially profile. The whole time it's the white people that are stealing. They're all white. It's the funniest thing ever. And so she's saying all this, and I was like, you did racially profile me because you stopped me. I was out the store, and then you want to go proceed to look at me through the window? Like, what? And then she goes, it wasn't racially profiling. I can't because I have a black son. Oh? What the fuck does you having a black son have to do with me and what you did? And I said to her, like, I'm almost out of time, but I said to her, I was just like, what does your black son have to do with you? You are not black, therefore you cannot experience what he goes through. You might see what he goes through, but you will never feel what it's like to be racially profiled. And that just like set me off. And like they were like asking like, can I do anything to help, like the nice lady? And I was like, I just want to return this because I'm not putting my money where like this company is gonna racially support or profile me, and I'm gonna just go buy that shit online. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah.
আজকে আমাদের চ্যালেঞ্জের নাম হচ্ছে তেল ছাড়া রান্না। ইয়োগার্ট ড্রেসিং দিয়ে একটা ফ্রুট সালাদ রাখবো, আর ডেজার্টে আমি একটা এনার্জি বল রাখার চেষ্টা করব।
দেরি হয়ে যাবে না তো?
না, এখন যেগুলো আছে এগুলো শুধু প্লেটিং আইটেম আছে।
কি কি ডিশ আপনার দুটো?
আজকে আমাদের চ্যালেঞ্জের নাম তেল ছাড়া রান্না। আমরা জানি যে রান্নার একটা মেইন ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস হলো তেল, আর তেল ছাড়া রান্না করা বেশ ডিফিকাল্ট। আমি একটা টিবেটিয়ান স্যুপ করছি, ডাম্পলিং স্যুপ, আর আমি একটা ইয়োগার্ট ড্রেসিং দিয়ে একটা ফ্রুট সালাদ রাখবো, আর ডেজার্টে আমি একটা এনার্জি বল রাখার চেষ্টা করব। আজকে আমাদের চ্যালেঞ্জ হচ্ছে বিনা তেলে রান্না করা। ওই জন্য আমার একটা স্টিম ফিশ বেছে নিয়েছি, আর সুইট আইটেমে আমি একটা প্যানাকোটা করতেছি। তো আমার স্টিম ফিশটা আমি স্টিমে দিয়েছি এবং এখন প্যানাকোটাটা রেডি করতেছি। আজকে আমাদের চ্যালেঞ্জ তেল ছাড়া রান্না। টেরিয়াকি চিকেন পোক বোল রান্না করব, অ্যান্ড তার সাথে আমি একটা নাটি ডেট নাটি স্মুদি সার্ভ করব ডেজার্ট হিসেবে। আজকে আমাদের চ্যালেঞ্জের নাম হচ্ছে তেল ছাড়া রান্না। আমি ব্ল্যাক স্কার্প পাওয়ার কারণে কিছু সুবিধা পেয়েছি, তবে যেমন ওভেনে বেকিং করা, তো বেকিং আমি সবসময় করে থাকি। তো আমি চিন্তা করলাম যে আমি আমার কমফোর্ট জোন থেকে বের হয়ে আর কি, সেই জন্য আমি চুলাতেই কাজ করছি। আর আমি বানাচ্ছি হচ্ছে গিয়ে বিফ মোমোস অ্যান্ড অ্যাপেল ব্লসম টি।
পার্টিসিপেন্টস, আর মাত্র 30 মিনিট বাকি আছে। এর মধ্যে সবকিছু কমপ্লিট করতে হবে, কস্টিং, কিচেন ক্লিন, সেই সাথে একটা দারুণ প্লেটিং আজকে আমরা দেখতে চাই আপনাদের কাছ থেকে। বেস্ট অফ লাক।
কুমোর সব কাজ শেষ?
না, প্লেটিং করব, ভেজিটেবল একটা আছে একটু সেদ্ধ করব, ওটা দিয়ে প্লেটিং করব।
তার মাঝখানে কস্টিং করছেন? দেরি হয়ে যাবে না তো?
না, এখন যেগুলো আছে এগুলো শুধু প্লেটিং আইটেম আছে।
কি কি ডিশ আপনার দুটো?
টমখা গং, চার সুই চিকেন ট্রাই করছি, চার সুইর সাথে বক চই ভেজিটেবল দিচ্ছি। লেমন রাইস অ্যান্ড রুই মাছ দিয়ে যেটা আপনি থাই ফ্লেভার আনার ট্রাই করেছেন, এই কম্বিনেশনটা খেতেও ভালো লাগছে। রুই মাছটা খেতে ডিফারেন্ট লাগছে, এই প্রথম থাই ফ্লেভারের রুই মাছ খাচ্ছি।
চয়েস অফ ফিশ এন্ড স্টিমিংটা একদম পারফেক্ট ছিল।
এবারে চট্টগ্রামের উর্মি মাহবুব, আপনার ফুড নিয়ে চলে আসুন।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আজকে আমি করেছি ভাপা রুই আর হচ্ছে লেমন রাইস, সাথে আমি একটা প্যানাকোটা করেছি।
পান্নাকোটাটা প্রথমে ট্রাই করেছি, এটা আসলে পান্নাকোটা যে ধরনের হয় একদম ওরকম হয়নি। লেমন রাইসের মধ্যে লেমন রাইন্ড এত বেশি, একটু তেতো লাগছে, আর ফিশটা ছিল মোটামুটি।
আমার কাছে আপনার পান্নাকোটাটা ভালো লেগেছে, সত্যিই দারুণ। উপরের আপনার যে স্ট্রবেরি লেয়ার এবং ভেতরের হোয়াইট মিল্ক দিয়ে করেছেন, রাইট? মিল্ক অ্যান্ড নাটস মিক্স করে দিয়েছেন। আর লেমন রাইস অ্যান্ড রুই মাছ দিয়ে যেটা আপনি থাই ফ্লেভার আনার ট্রাই করেছেন, এই কম্বিনেশনটা খেতেও ভালো লাগছে। রুই মাছটা খেতে ডিফারেন্ট লাগছে, এই প্রথম থাই ফ্লেভারের রুই মাছ খাচ্ছি। এটাও ব্যালেন্স হয়েছে, মজা হয়েছে। থ্যাংক ইউ।
এটার টেস্টটা মজা,
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
এটার ফ্লেভারস, ইট ইজ আ থাই dish. So all the Thai flavors অনেক intensified, lemon juice, lemongrass and galangaler flavor বোঝা যাচ্ছে. Choice of fish and steamingটা একদম perfect ছিল. What I don't like is the plating. এটা আপনি I understand ফয়েলে করা হয়েছে, but ফয়েলে প্রেজেন্ট করা কি প্রয়োজন ছিল? যদি করতেন রাইসের সাথে আলাদা করে দিতেন। আমি যদি এটাকে একটা প্লেট হিসেবে চিন্তা করি, রাইট, একজন সিঙ্গল পার্সনের জন্য, তখন রাইসটাকে এটার ভিতরে দিয়ে খাবো না এটাকে বাইরে এনে খাবো? দ্যাটস দি অনলি প্রবলেম আই হ্যাভ উইথ দ্য ডিশ, রাইট? প্যানা কোটাটা টেস্ট ওয়াইজ ইটস গুড, টেক্সচার ওয়াইজ ইজ অলসো ওকে. দি অনলি প্রবলেম আই হ্যাভ ইজ এটাতে আপনি আগারের পরিমাণটা অনেক বেশি দিয়ে দিয়েছেন, সো একটা আফটার টেস্ট অফ আগার আসে. গুড ট্রাই. কস্টিংটা সব কিছু ঠিক আছে. রাইসে যে আপনি কস্টিং দিয়েছেন, দিস ইজ এক্সপেন্সিভ. এটার প্রাইস কই?
এটা যে ওই যে আমি অন্য লেমন থেকে মানে ধরেছিলাম,
এটা দাম ধরবেন না, আপনাকে সব কিছুর প্রাইসিং ধরতে হবে তো, রাইট? এখানে আপনি লাস্টে জাস্ট চাল 20 টাকা দিয়ে দিয়েছেন.
না, আমি লেমনটা ও মাছের জন্য যে লেমন এনেছিলাম ওখান থেকে ইউজ করেছি, দ্যাটস ওয়াই. আর আমি ওখান
এটা একটা আলাদা প্রোডাক্ট না, এটার কস্টিংটা তো আপনাকে আলাদা করে করতে হবে, রাইট? ঠিক আছে, গুড ট্রাই, ভালো ছিল.
থ্যাংক ইউ রিমা বাবু.